my goodness, the 10,000 AI. So like I just told you, there's everyone I'm talking to is a solopreneur, but I'm also know people that have huge amounts of agents. I know realtors that have more than 10,000 agents. So it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
But what I could tell you is that these
guys
guys
that do it too.
These guys do not, their life doesn't suck.
Do you think if I had 10,000 AI agents versus 10,000 human agents, which one is better?
My goodness, the 10,000 AI.
Right?
You don't even need 10,000 AI. You can get like 1,000 probably that'll do more work than the 10,000 agents.
Because I built.
What I would tell you is, if you're going to invest your time, invest it instead of the hiring process, invest it on building that first bot.
Yeah.
Because once you build that first bot, then you can just keep rolling them out. Because spend our time building this bot. And then once we build the one, we can just keep rolling them out.
Yeah.
It's not like you got to reinvent the wheel. It's like, here, the wheel's built. It's just another wheel, another wheel, another wheel. And now, like you said, now you got 100 agents. Because that's literally what I'm working on. Same exact thing.
What was interesting, so when I started Banana Farms, which I remember telling you was like my real estate investment company, and then as I started doing all this hiring, I'm like, well, actually, like, it's not just the homes that are the banana farm that could produce, income and things like that. It's each, employee. And I was like, man, and I switched actually. Banana Farms is now kind of like the whole hiring company. And it's like, we're trying to get as many leads that can become, banana farms as far as like producing, a lot of like revenue and profit for your company. And I think that's the switch, because I think it's just too time consuming, too costly to have humans, be put on the hook on a daily, weekly, monthly, like it's just gonna be too much churn. But I feel like dig deeper and take a little bit more in the beginning and build systems and ops, and that's gonna go a longer way, I think, at least.
So, a lot of agents, they sell the sizzle. Right? They're like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to sell this big sizzle. And, I explained to them, like, it's cool. It's cool to have the sizzle, right? We got that too. We do a lot of sizzle. But what we sell is the systems and the processes, right? Because that's what people want to buy. They want to make sure that you got this down pat, right? You've done this before. You have the experience. And right now, 91%, here we are almost the end of July. And 91% of realtors haven't even sold a house yet this year. And all of last year, 71% of realtors didn't sell a house the whole entire year. So like you're saying, just because you passed the class, you got your license, you tortured yourself, and now I don't know what to do. And I'm scared. And I'm a secret agent. I don't want nobody to know. I don't want to put it on Facebook. I don't want to make a video. I don't want to make a post. I don't want my mom to know. I don't want my brother to know. It's like, dude, your mom just bought a house for me because she didn't know you were an agent. Like what was the point of all of it, right? So, but they didn't tell me in real estate school I was going to have to make phone calls. They didn't tell me I was going to have to lead generate. They didn't tell me I was going to have to make a video. They didn't tell me I had to make a post. They didn't have to tell me I had to tell people, it's like, what did you think this was going to be? And that's why when people tell me, Alex, I want to get into real estate, before you make a move, feel free to come to my office, visit us, shadow us, see what we do. Make sure it's what you want to do. You don't want to go and sign up for this class and spend months or weeks, or like I just had a lady that joined the team 20 years that took her to get her license. 20 years. Imagine that. And then you get your license and not do anything with it. It's like, I don't understand. And we all have the same license. We all have the same job. It's just some people actually know what to do with it.
I think that's a lot of what's happened recently is like you come to like a conversation with somebody and they've had like the same amount of opportunity as you or something like that. And they didn't take it as best or something like that. It's like, hey, you got your license. I got the license, or like you did this class. I did this class. You went to school, I went to school, and like, I feel like that's what creates a lot of separation nowadays with people. At least what I've noticed is like, you start taking strides against other people. And more so, I'm talking like your personal work, like network and stuff like that, the people that you're kind of battling with, and it's like, you're not competitors in any way, but it's like, you're not necessarily on the same squad. And it's like, I don't know. I think these people will get awoken very soon with where the workforce is headed. And I think being an owner is the only way. And, I think it opened up my eyes the last few months on taking that approach. And always wanted, I loved assets, owning assets, but I was like, just was always stuck in the JOB. And like, just some people are built for it, some people aren't. And I noticed I definitely am not. I can't freaking, it's hard for me just to do the same thing every day, and it's like, so I guess that's a question for me to you is like, I know every day to you is definitely different. You meet at different houses, different people, but in the end of the day, I feel like you've really dominated being able to do the same thing and like, not skipping. Like you don't go like 7 days wearing a suit and then on 3 not. It's 10 out of 10. So how do you
Well,
keep doing that?
it's just discipline and consistency. It's like I said, I know it works, and you just got to keep doing it. And like I was saying, if you're inconsistent with one thing, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're inconsistent with something, and like what I'm hearing, a couple things that you're saying, I'd say you need that confidence, because if you start questioning yourself and you start like feeding yourself negative thoughts, like, or worse, you're telling yourself like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't do that, and I'm not well at this, and what do you think that's doing to you, right? You don't ever want to tell yourself any negative anything. You want that so far gone. You literally have to yell to yourself. I did it earlier. I was having a meeting with two ladies, and every idea I have, it's fear driven, right? Because that's like the world is so fear driven. You tell them something, and immediately negative, negative, negative. It's not going to work. That's not going to work. What about this? What about that? What about the one thing that we could do that actually might make this happen? How about we think about that? And how about we think about how we can make it happen instead of all the bad things that are going to happen that never will happen, right? So we could stay fear driven and be scared of our own shadow, or we could start telling ourselves we're monsters, we're beasts, we could do anything. And that will literally rewire your brain. So the second I start hearing all this stuff around me, I literally yell as loud as I can. I'm not gonna do it here, but I yell loud. Like everybody turned around in my whole entire office, big old office. They're in the conference room. Everybody's like, dude, what the heck just happened? I yelled, cancel. I don't want to hear that, bro. I don't want to hear nothing negative. I don't, and you got to literally yell this to yourself. You got to tell yourself, cancel. The second you hear yourself questioning yourself, or can I do this? I don't know how to do this. The hell you don't? Figure it out. You got every single thing you could ever want at your fingertips with your phone. You're carrying it all around everywhere, except you're doing the wrong things with it. You're scrolling through Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and watching all these funny videos and TV. And, how about we work harder on ourselves and start to believe, because that's where it all starts. If you can't believe that you can do this, it will never happen. You're always going to have that doubt. You're always going to have that plan B. You got to have that backbone, bro. No matter what happens. There's going to be blood, sweat, and tears? Absolutely, bro. That's like the price of entry. And if you're not willing to shed blood, sweat, and tears, stay your ass under the bed, under that blanket, keep hiding, and let your boy take care of the business.
Facts.
Bro, that's all I speak. And people sometimes, they have a problem with it because I'm speaking facts and truth. And they don't like that. They don't like to be called out. They don't like to be, there's one thing, and, I'm sure you've noticed it when you're around me. I don't play that victim mentality bullshit. Like, you could, second I hear you with some bullshit ass excuse, I will call you out every single time. And you are not going to like it. And you're going to be defensive, and you're going to blame other people, and you're going to point the finger. And after all of that, you're going to think to yourself, you know what? I needed to hear that shit. I'm sick of being babied. I'm sick of everybody fucking on my, just saying yes, yes, yes to everything I say. And you know what? I needed somebody to kick me in the mouth and get me going in the right direction. It's the same thing I tell my team. I'm very coachable. I'm not perfect. Of course, I'm going to fuck shit up. But the main thing is I'm going to be responsible and hold myself accountable for it. And I'm going to let them know, yes, I messed up. And hey, what are we going to do to fix it? Right? I'm not going to point the finger, play victim, and worse, be full of excuses. Because I don't play that, bro. And sooner or later, like I said, they come around and they honor it. And they're like, you know what? Alex, and then they come over and then they apologize that they blew up on me, and they're like, you know what? I needed to hear that. I needed somebody to tell me that, and I appreciate it. And then they finally start doing something about it, or they don't do anything and they quit.
And that's when if they come back to you and they take that in the right way, that's their first steps now in building a future. And only way you could build is being optimistic. Like, imagine trying to build a building pessimistic and just being like, soil's not good, foundation's not good, paperwork's not good, city's not good, population's not good. You're never going to get it done. So now think of that with life. It's like, if you're just constantly like, man, I'm not good enough, it's going to take too long, I don't have enough money, never going to happen. You ain't going to build nothing. Somebody that takes a little bit of accountability after they get, maybe a little, woken up, I gotten woken up many times in my life, from my grandparents to, uncles, dads, people that really, and they give you like, not just lessons, but like a scar, is like, hey, like, learn from that. And they're not going to say that. And to be honest, the only person that's going to tell you that actually is probably God. Is going to be like, hey, like, hopefully you got that message. I don't want to have to give you a deeper scar, but I will, definitely will. So
Signs are everywhere, bro. It's just up to us to see them. God's helping us every step of the way. It's just us to open our eyes and let him in.
Yeah. And because you ask for, you got to ask, let them in and freaking let them help, because that's
a superpower, bro. To be able to ask for help, that's literally a superpower. So many people's ego is not their amigo, and it's in the way of everything that they're trying to do. They're controlled by it. They would rather lose a home, be behind on everything, lose everything before they can ask somebody for help, because they don't want anyone to know that they lost or they failed. It's like, bro, then you really lost and you really failed. Everyone out there is willing to help. You just got to find them. There's people like myself. You ever feel like you need to reach out to me? I'm a phone call away, and I'm here to help, bro. And I don't need nothing from you. I'm not trying to ask for a cent. I'm just here doing it out of the kindness of my own heart.
Yeah, and he definitely will. And I could guarantee that. So to reiterate that, if you guys, anybody needs anything, help, please reach out to either of us, and more than welcome to make any type of arrangements to help out, and that's, I think, is in the end of the day, that's what all this has to be for. At least what I do all this for. And I used to tell this to my ex-girlfriend, and to, it's like right now, it seems very selfish. Like you're just building for like yourself. And it's like, some people take this for generational like values. And it's like, that's all I want to build for, is like, not even like, I'm going to be long gone, but I guess what I want my name still around, whether that's Alec or that's Fidan or John. And the only way is like, you gotta put your stamp on generational curses, and, you gotta be willing to like learn from, the past. But in the end of the day, like, your past doesn't determine your future. And, you could rewrite anything from any day. You could go from just being an absolute, turd to the next day being a stud, and it'll happen. And you just gotta ask for it. So.
I'm that turd that he's talking about. So I was the worst of the worst, and here I am, and that's why now, I have the rest of my life to give back and make up for all the dumb shit that I